Welcome back to DTNsights. I am your host, Renny Vandewege. We've got a fun one today, one we're excited about. Quite frankly, one we've wanted to share to the world for like the past 2 years, and now we're finally ready to do that. I am pleased to be joined today by the Director of Product Management for Weather Intelligence at DTN, Nic Wilson. Nic, welcome to the hot seat here.
Hey, thank you so much, Renny. It's great to finally get to share our journey together with WeatherHub. Great to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the topic of the day. We're going to get into WeatherHub. Before we do that, though, Nic, we want to learn a little bit about you and your background. Starting there, your background, your career, and I know you went to school for meteorology. What did you intend to do in this field? And then how did you end up where you are today, leading product management? Because for all of us, we think we're going to do one thing and we end up doing a heck of a lot more from that. So I'd kind of love to hear about your journey.
Yeah, so my career arc starts at a really young age. I think most people that pursue a weather-oriented career have some type of like compelling event that motivates them or spurs their curiosity. So I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, Naperville, and I'm going to take everybody back to the end of August 1990. I'm in third grade, huddling underneath my desk along with all my classmate peers. The sky is the craziest color green. We just finished St. Patrick's Day. It wasn't that time of year. You knew that there was, crazy convective winds, hail. It wasn't good. And I was, in fear under my desk. And, from that day forward, I didn't want to be in that situation. I wanted to have full understanding, confidence, and know-how of what the weather was doing. Lo and behold, just 5 miles south of where I was huddled under that desk that day, ripped an F5 tornado through the town of Plainfield, Illinois, killed 29 people, and was one of the most disastrous severe weather events that's hit the state of Illinois. From there, I think everything was just kind of a natural progression as far as extending my curiosity to understand weather impacts. Had the opportunity to play Division I college soccer, as well as pursue my interests in atmospheric sciences at Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. From there, realized that my career path was much better suited continuing in the sciences as opposed to pursuing a professional soccer career. That took me to the University of Oklahoma, which was a dream as that boy huddling under the desk to be at the preeminent severe thunderstorm research institute in the world. Pursued graduate research in cooperation with a private sector partner around lightning data and how that could influence the evolution of storm intensity. Got to spend some time at the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder. Had some options to pursue my PhD, but ultimately I took my first career gig with that company that sponsored me in Arizona, of all places. So I relocated from being accustomed to all four seasons to now living in what felt like Mars, being in Arizona. And first gig there was in product management. I didn't know much about software, computer coding, and creating customer value. So it was a great learning experience for me underneath a really experienced team to build software applications that were helping power utilities solve problems as far as identifying when and where they'd have challenges to their lines, to prioritize inspections, as well as reinforce and make capital investments in line segments and locales across their grid system that would improve their power quality. Then I had a lot of great opportunities in international business. I helped start up a renewable energy business channel, which took me for a 3-year period to Hamburg, Germany, where I had the opportunity to live abroad and work in the weather and climate sector. Learned most of my German in the locker rooms of the local German semi-professional soccer team that I latched onto. but amazing experiences to travel all across Europe, understand the nuances of the various markets there, especially in wind and solar energy. Then after I came back to the States, relocated to Colorado, and uh, my business development efforts had built out a strategic plan that led to a series of acquisitions and kind of built that vision of what uh, I had sought out in my time in Germany. And I wanted to sit on the other side of the fence. I wanted, I had built that. I'd been in the product seat. I wanted to take a sales leadership role as far as actually bringing my vision to market hand in hand with customers. So a period of 3-4 years, I was in sales leadership, which was a really fulfilling experience, and opened my eyes to the challenges as far as what it takes to really deliver customer value consistently, and to build those relationships not only within your industry, but across international borders and partnerships. Then, as I started a family, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't traveling nearly as much internationally, which the sales and commercial lifestyle was certainly focused around. So I had the chance then to revert back into a digital product management role. Ultimately, had the opportunity with DTN then a few months prior to COVID. Actually joined DTN officially in February of 2020, a month before COVID hit. I
Sure.
think
Quiet time in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my claim to fame was I was the final employee that was mandated to relocate. So packed up my bags up to here in the Minneapolis area, where I still am today, and took over leadership of our power utilities market segment for product globally, building flagship, AI and machine learning enabled solutions to help utilities better prepare and plan for the impacts of major storm events, so that they could reduce outage durations and improve customer power quality. And my journey here has been fantastic to really hone my skill in tech product management, and ultimately about 3.5 years ago took leadership of our weather sector's product management globally, where I get to lead a team of 9 amazing individuals that are really focused at understanding our customers' problems and challenges across a number of weather sensitive segments, and prototyping and cooperatively innovating with them in order to build solutions that can help mitigate the risks of the impacts of severe weather and climate.
Yeah. It's a, you have a super impressive resume and background and set of experiences. And the neat thing too, in your role, is getting exposure to multiple industries that impact weather. Something that I love about my role too is hearing all the unique ways that weather impacts businesses and people. Wide variety of ways. So it's an exciting time here at DTN, as we mentioned earlier, with the release of the Weather Hub, and that's kind of our next generation product. You mentioned software, and so whether you think of it as software, data, apps, this is our big new release to the world. So what are some of the events that like really led to sort of the release and development and vision of Weather Hub in the direction that you and your team have taken this platform?
Yeah, so I joined DTN in the first place, Renny, because I recognized the international and breadth of industries that DTN was working with was just phenomenal. I always sat on the outside in the industry and just really admired what they had built across uh, their legacy product portfolio, and a number of acquisitions that were made in the late 20 teens. And I recognized that, if I was going to have the utmost impact as far as helping weather sensitive industries and customers uh, make weather more predictable, and help turn it into an advantage in some ways relative to their peers, that this was the team where I could realize that vision. Uh, I think every great product starts with customer input and feedback. And you're looking back across what's really been like a 4 or 5 year arc of curiosity and discovery. We've probably conducted over 1,000 different customer conversations, whether that's a ride along where the product team has been inside of our customers' operations, whether that's attending conferences and networking with many customers that are facing challenges brought on by significant and severe weather. It's aggregation of feedback from customers using legacy products and solutions, as well as the peers that we work with at DTN, that, you know, so many other knowledgeable, you know, weather nerds, as we affectionately like to describe them, that have great ideas and input as far as how we can more creatively solve our customers' problems. So with all that in mind, it takes a village in order to build an operational decisioning platform like WeatherHub. And it takes a lot of prototyping, testing, iteration, and that's maybe what's been most exciting, you know, looking back across the last 6 years here, like the tools that we have at our disposal now to build software as a service applications have completely changed. Like I used to have to, like, you know, draw up a concept on the back of an envelope and
Yeah.
put that in front of a customer. Now I can go and vibe code. I keep in mind that I can't realistically even like code a line of Python, but I can go into some of these tools and jam with the customer, understand their problems, and we've got a working prototype right in front of us in like 10 minutes.
It's amazing. So, you know, you're right. It's like well over probably 1,000 customer interviews, let's call them, on the problems that that exist where weather is just disruption to operations. What are some of the common themes that you and the team have heard throughout those conversations that WeatherHub really addresses?
Yeah, it's the first market segment or industry that we've been really focused on is what we call outdoor safety. So this is kind of a conglomeration of sports, live events like music concerts and festivals, schools, construction in and around like big data centers and wind farms or solar plants, as well as public safety in and around like emergency management activities. And the number one common threat and challenge for these outdoor operations is the threat of thunderstorms and lightning activity. So really bringing me full circle back to the start of my career, right? So that's when I've been really passionate as far as how can we build better tooling and decision support capabilities for the onset of thunderstorm activity, providing the necessary lead times in order to take intelligent evacuation decisions, you know, ones that are of high confidence, but obviously with these high stakes type of events, you know, you got to push your cards appropriately as far as ensuring that you get as much of the show in, or you know, can identify windows of opportunity to deliver attendees and ticket payers what they're asking for, as well as advertising partners. So that's been, I think, one huge theme that we've been putting a lot of focus in with WeatherHub, as far as building configurability, as far as you know, each venue having its own weather action plan around lightning safety, and we continue to prototype some new opportunities that can better frame and scope the evolution of thunderstorms and what the probability of impact to a specific facility looks like. Another area that is pretty common in the conversations that we have with outdoor safety is heat stress. You know, if you go to a live outdoor sports or concert event in the summer months, typically the order of like 70% of the medical incidents are related to like heat stroke, heat stress oriented illness. And, you know, that's been really a gap in our industry. Just providing temperature oriented forecast doesn't tell the whole story. You need to leverage an understanding as far as the humidity or the moisture in the air, the effects of wind, solar radiation. These all come together to influence how your body reacts in the moment to extreme heat, and the implementation of what we call wet bulb globe temperature, which is a more advanced you know, influence of these factors on the human body, we've really introduced some, I think, really useful tools that customers can project and understand in the next 48 hours how that heat stress risk escalates, and they can plan as well as operationalize different risk mitigation efforts based on their weather action plan tied to those risk factors, so that they can, for example, set up cooling tents on site at a concert event. Maybe you bring in motor coaches with air conditioning that spectators that are experiencing illness can take respite in. Maybe it's just misters additional water. It's refreshing to see that, something that, you reflect on is like really straightforward and simple actions hasn't really been understood or operationalized in the industry. So building easy to use tools that translate weather intelligence into operational critical decision making, that's where I think we can really make a difference.
It's one of the really fascinating things actually blends both of those together, which is that, and this is a learning I had in the past few years, which is, okay, let's say we have a lightning delay in a stadium and you have to evacuate the stadium. And now you've put 70,000 people in a hot concourse. All of a sudden, heat stress that might not have been an issue otherwise with people spaced out becomes an issue when you pack all of that heat together. And it's pretty amazing how there is a daisy chain of one weather event actually can lead to a secondary threat that you might not be there on the surface. Brings up another point, which is the advancement of data in our world has been dramatic since you and I are almost the same age and like maybe a year apart. From when we first started our careers to today, the amount of available data, the sort of the advancements in innovation and AI and weather data, et cetera, has created a plethora of available data for us to present to customers. How has that changed in how you're presenting even the most basic of a weather forecast, but especially this intelligence from, say, the platforms of old to what WeatherHub does today?
Yeah, I think a really good observation, Renny. The platforms of the old have relied upon what I call a deterministic forecast. So, we run physics-based numerical weather prediction model, and this is the most probable outcome. I think we can all sit here and recognize that the science of meteorology and weather forecasting is extremely complex and advanced given the interactions of everything that exists in our atmosphere, and the perfect forecast doesn't exist. And our customers demand to understand the potential scenarios that are out there. For example, here in Minnesota, we recently faced our largest snow event of the season. And as you can imagine, weather model A was saying that there was going to be 24 inches of snow. Weather model B was saying there's only going to be 8 inches of snow. So, what is that range of possibility? And ultimately, what are the most likely outcomes? And given my risk tolerance, how do I want to plan relative to those potential outcomes? So this brings us about to the concept of what we call probabilistic forecasting. So, I think what's really great at DTN is our blended model approach, where we're taking in all of the publicly available weather models, short range at higher resolution, longer range models at coarser resolution. We're running our own AI models over the areas where our customers are making decisions, and we can understand the performance of those models over time and weight their contributions accordingly, and builds kind of a distribution as far as like, this is the high end as far as snow totals as one example, and here's the low end. And given your risk tolerance, how the forecast has behaved lately, we can advise you as far as what are the types of decisions that you could take or should take relative to your weather action plan. And ultimately, that's kind of like the next generation of tools for customers, is to understand in any given situation, what's my risk tolerance? What's the uncertainty tied to the forecast? And how's that going to influence the decisions I'm taking. And I think DTN really differentiates itself in the fact that not only are we building up such robust automation in our forecast capabilities, but we pair that with our expert meteorologists and risk communicators in order to help our customers make the critical big decision under pressure with confidence and a chain of care of duty ultimately in order to justify their decision making and move forward with confidence.
And I think I often describe that paradigm you just described eloquently as also it's sort of weather with context, meaning if I have risk tolerance that differs from another person, I may need to know the worst case scenario every time to prevent the worst case scenario from occurring from an impact perspective, right? Not just a range of possibilities, but that could influence how many trucks I deploy to clean the roads, or could I have a range of a lot of power outages versus not many power outages, and how do I staff myself appropriately? So this context with the information, I think, is really matters. We've got customers using WeatherHub today. What kind of feedback have you received from the various customer groups that have either tested or are in live deployment of WeatherHub already?
Yeah, so we went go to market live in early February with outdoor safety as well as utilities. So we're already receiving really positive feedback from each of those industry segments. With outdoor safety, obviously we're still early in the arc of their season. Things will really be ramping up as far as outdoor events as we move into the later spring and into summer. But the early feedback, number one is we've introduced event scheduling and planning tools. So if I'm a concert operator, I can already upload my entire season of events, and I'm only going to of course, be focused on the weather in a certain locale if it's in that time window of load in, setup, rigging, and construction. Then you have the event, and then you've got to take it all down and move on to your next locale. So we've introduced I think really useful functionality where the forecast content and alerting and decision guidance only triggers as we get into the window of that specific event. So that's been, I think, really positively received as far as focusing the weather intelligence specifically when and where they need it. A lot of, I think, positive feedback as far as the configurability. We built WeatherHub as a dashboard forward experience. I think most people are, synonymously relate a weather application, whether it's a consumer app on your phone or maybe you've used professional software as a service platform. It's typically map based and oriented, and we certainly have that functionality in WeatherHub, but we wanted and understood that most of our users aren't meteorologists. They don't want to interpret 5, 6, 7, 8 different weather layers and forecasts. They want decision intelligence right in front of them in a dashboard environment that's tailored to their specific industry and use case and aligns with their standard operating procedures or weather action plan. So we've got tools like what's called the forecast timeline, where a customer can set up a weather action plan with escalating risk levels for specific assets, whether that's a single point location like a concert venue, could be a line segment like power utility, high voltage transmission line. It can be a polygon, such as electric utilities service region where they're taking resourcing decisions. And they can set up, for example, for wind speed impacts. They can set up different thresholds. They can configure all of that escalation around their naming conventions inside of their weather action plan, and really tailor who receives what alerts at what lead times and timeframes, so that the right people get the right information at the right time in order to take a variety of decisions. And that's in the background so that everyone speaking the same language and operationalizing their decision making across the enterprise. And then each department or group inside of an organization, maybe I'm working with the security team, and they're concerned about these types of thresholds. Maybe the tent and stage construction setup are worried about these thresholds. They can each have their own dashboard views that tailor their actions accordingly. And that's been really well received by our customers, is that level of personalization that WeatherHub can bring to their specific operations, and really justifies investment across an enterprise when everybody can really get the experience that they're looking for, as opposed to, many applications have just, one pane of glass that, they have to look through, that isn't a great fit for everybody across their teams and operations.
Well, it's awesome because we are there's a very robustness to this platform right out of the gate, and yet we're early days on WeatherHub and what we can do. What has you excited about the next year or two, three, with where you think WeatherHub can go when you put your sort of strategic visionary product management hat on? What gets you excited about this platform for the future?
Yeah, I think there's three areas that get me really excited, Renny. First off is a concept we refer to as peril intelligence. Weather is very rarely a singular impact. You may have a winter storm event, as we had last week, but that was accompanied by extreme cold. It wasn't just the snow, extreme cold, high winds, multi peril impacts. And customers demand to have more advanced intelligence when there are significant weather events. So think about introducing modules as far as like unique observation and forecast layers, widgets that help a user through a certain workflow that may be specific to that peril, and ultimately the proactive guidance that needs to be provided around decision making. So we've introduced some introductory tools for wildfire oriented intelligence. Here in the second quarter, we're in the midst of building our tropical intelligence capabilities ahead of the June 1st start of tropical season. We have ambitions into flood, more advanced thunderstorm oriented capabilities to help with evacuation guidance. So that's what really gets me excited, is not just being a generalist, but bringing a lot of our expertise now in the pathway of specific perils for our customers. Second is the concept of risk communication. I alluded to this earlier, but we believe at DTN that AI is certainly an enabler, but when AI is paired with a human expert in the loop, you get tremendous outcomes. And one area where DTN has been very strong for a number of years is our team of expert meteorologists and risk communicators that can actually speak and understand our customers' language and help them interpret complex information into decisive decisions. And we are going to be integrating those risk communication capabilities much closer into the platform experience. So for example, schedule directly in the app a video conference briefing with a risk communicator, get annotated forecast content that goes above and beyond what you'd be able to interpret yourself in the application. So that vision of bringing together the technology in the operational decisioning platform with that human expertise creates what we believe is the ultimate trust factor in making the best decisions for your organization. Third, I'd be remiss to have any of these podcasts, Renny, without talking about the ambitions that we have with the emergence of AI and machine learning in the weather intelligence space. DTN's already been a flagship leader with a number of our electric utility applications, specifically storm impact analytics, which helps large investor-owned utilities identify the expected impacts of storm events, whether that's high winds associated with convective thunderstorms, winter storm events with wet snow, ice accretion, tropical events. They can get out ahead of those storm events, understand what type of human resourcing will be needed to pre-stage in order to restore service, as well as mobilizing their supply chains to have the equipment needed to restore damage across their network and get customers back up and running as quickly as possible. We see a couple of areas where AI is going to bring a great level of benefit. First is with LLMs, as far as translating complex information within the platform itself, as well as other decision-grade data sources that DTN brings to the table to provide on-demand types of recommendations that are context-aware. You can go out and already use a number of tools that are available on the web, but imagine a situation where DTN's AI assistant has awareness of your weather action plan. It has context around your specific assets, the type of decisions that you're making, the role that you're operating in, so that you basically have an assistant right alongside you. If the forecast confidence is too uncertain, it's that high stakes of a decision, we'll escalate and get you accessibility to our risk communicators in order to assure that you have the confidence and the chain of command necessary to make those critical decisions. The other area that I think AI is going to be really powerful is in decision recommendation. So, the concept of feedback loops. So envision a scenario where, maybe 10 years ago, we'd tell you that it's going to rain. Then, forecasts have gotten better that it's going to rain a quarter of an inch, which means that you should ensure that you have a cover on your stadium field so that it's ready for play in the next 24 hours. Then now imagine a scenario where we're providing you specific guidance as far as when you should tarp that field, when you'll be able to resume your agronomic activities around a stadium event, given the connection that the AI can bring across all of this knowledge base that we have around your operations. So we'll provide proactive recommendations if we want to know and understand if you want to accept and acknowledge that recommendation. If you don't, we want to understand why. Maybe you don't have a high enough trust factor in that recommendation yet. Perhaps you feel that the timing of the event doesn't align with some of the other dependencies that you have. That feedback will all go into information that we can learn from and train to make better decisions in the future. And if you do accept and acknowledge a recommendation, we want to know and understand how did it perform? What were the specific outcomes that were achieved with the risk mitigation actions that you took, and incorporate the value as well as the associated impacts and learnings into future recommendations and decisions. And you can understand, you can quickly build up a repository or a knowledge base that's not only going to benefit one specific customer, but if you opt in, it can benefit other customers in your industry that are like yourself, to raise the performance of everybody ultimately.
It's unbelievable. I'm so fired up because the opportunities are endless, and as I said, it's a really robust platform today, which we're excited about. The opportunities to solve problems just is exponential, and really fired up about it. All right, Nick, we're going to wrap up here with everybody's favorite segment called Heat Burst. Just a couple quick kind of fun questions. So you mentioned very early on that you lived in Germany, which is awesome. If you had to give a recommendation on a German must-do, what would it be?
I'd say most Americans would associate the Cinderella's Castle in Disney World in Orlando, Florida. what you don't know is that it was actually modeled after the Neuschwanstein castle in southern Germany. So that is, I think, a must-do to see the amazing architecture and history that's involved in that site. It's not too far away from Munich, so you can do a day trip. So I think that's always been a fan favorite when family and friends have come to visit.
What, say the name again?
Neuschwanstein.
You said it so perfectly. I had to hear it twice. That was brilliant. All right. So you're an accomplished soccer player, as you mentioned. You played Division I soccer at Creighton, just up the road from me in Omaha. What was the best game you ever played, either your performance or just participated in?
Well, I was lucky enough my freshman year to come into an amazingly talented team. I played at a top level in Chicago, which is one of the soccer hotbeds of America. Trained my butt off that entire spring and summer ahead of coming into the fall season. And I remember the first training session, we did a fitness test, and this guy, David Wagenfuhr, just runs by me on the last lap. He grew up in Colorado Springs, so he had elevation experience and whatnot. So I knew from that first day that I had met my match, and my head was spinning the first days of training with the talented players that were around me. And it was first time that I'd had the opportunity to play with a number of international players as well. And that team went on to reach the national final against the University of Connecticut. Unfortunately, we weren't victorious, but to be part of that journey, even though I was just a bit player, it develops your leadership skills, to still show up every day in training, to be alongside a number of guys that went on to have illustrious professional and national team careers. That's what I'll always remember, is being in the Carolina Panthers stadium, cheering on my teammates as we did our best to pursue a national title.
That's awesome. All right, finally, so for both you and I, career in weather brought us places we probably never imagine. What do you think the coolest experience has been that this career in weather brought to you that you never would have even dreamed of before you did it?
I'd like to share a story. I can't go into all the details, but the most interesting international business trip that my career in weather and climate took me on was the offshore protectorate of France called French Guiana. This is located north of Brazil in the rainforest, and the European Space Launch Facility is actually located there for reasons. It's near the equator, so the rotational velocity is fantastic for payload launches. It's not in the pathway of tropical events. But as you can imagine, the dichotomy of this offshore protectorate is unbelievable. It's unfortunately a very poor area of South America, surviving off of French government support. So you have like 10,000 locals, and they have 10,000 PhD rocket scientists all in the same locale. And I remember sitting there on the beach with my sales colleague who had been there a number of times, and it looks like you're at the Jetsons. It's like 1960s era architecture. We're drinking an amazing French wine on the beach, and you can see McDonald's in the background, and then the rainforest is over in the other corner. So it was just an unbelievable experience to see the breadth and corners of the world where weather intelligence is mission critical.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. I love that story. I think I know a few more details from that, and it's best not served here here on the podcast. Well, Nic, thank you so much for sharing your insights on DTNsights, and congratulations on the launch of WeatherHub to you and your team. A ton of work, a ton of thoughtfulness has gone into the creation of this product and platform for the future. And I know you and I spent a lot of time thinking through what this would be, and we kind of said we don't want just the next weather platform. We want like the 2035 version of what weather intelligence could be, or even beyond that. So we are well on our way there, and a major credit to you on that. So congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Renny. Really appreciate it.